Hello, random stranger. How are you? It is time for our regular dose of life giving wholesomeness, also known as Keion. Last time we were treated to quite a bit of Yuiyazu and, of course, the epic reunion of Death Devil. Before jumping into episodes 11 and 12, though, I do have a couple more notes to share with you and also a couple of cool things that you guys pointed out to me. Of course, you are always welcome to use the timestamps down below to jump straight to the good stuff. Let's start with episode 9, where Yui entered a talent competition for the sake of winning a trip to the onsen for Obaachan. And here I would like to acknowledge the power of Yui's one brain cell in that once she found her motivation, which was to repay the kindness that Obaachan had shown her all these years, she was able to kick ass both in exams and also at the talent competition, which makes me even more confident that if she ever were to choose to pursue the more unconventional path of a music career after high school, that she would totally make it. Of course, nothing can be taken away from Azusa as well. Oh my gosh, I almost said it wrong. Azusa as well, who helped kick Yui's butt into gear and is the person who can match her in both musical talent and determination. And I do love that after meeting Obaachan herself, Azusa was like, okay, now we really have to do well in this competition. It was telling also that the other three girls just let them have their space to develop their power couple dynamic. On rewatch, I paused on that frame where Azusa is showing Yui her new schedule, and surprisingly, I think it reveals Azusa to be much less of a demanding disciplinarian than the episode or than Yui actually made her out to be. Actually, I'll pull it up for you guys because I found some really interesting things just from that schedule alone. Okay, this works, right? So, each mark is 1 hour, and this biggest slice here says sleep. And funnily enough, I can understand most of this chart because Japanese kanji has its roots in traditional Chinese characters, and being able to read those helps. So the surprising thing here is that Azusa has allowed for 9 hours of sleep, like from 10 to 7. Yeah, so that's 9 hours of sleep, which is pretty generous, especially when they're meant to be cramming for exams. I don't know about you guys, but when I crammed for exams, it was like probably an average of 3 to 4 hours. So next is breakfast and then going to school from 6:30 to 7:30. And then there's class till 12:30, and then there's lunch. And then this is study in the library till 4 p.m. And here's like the really interesting, I guess, cultural linguistic point of interest. So these two characters here in Japanese reads as benkyo, to study, but in Chinese those exact same two characters are pronounced mianqiang, or in Cantonese it's minkang, which actually means to be forced to do something unpleasant. I'm so curious how that linguistic bridge was made, because when I first read this, I was like, wait, why are they going to the library to do something that they really don't want to do? And then it just clicked in, it was like, oh, they just mean they're studying. Okay, and then after study in the library comes practice, like music practice, for 2 hours until 6 p.m. And here, once again, we see the benevolence of Master Azusa in that, I mean, first of all, 2 hours of study, 2 hours of practice for an upcoming concert or whatever is pretty chill. Like, I remember doing a good 5 to 6 hours a day, just cramming in practice before a big show, practice till your fingers bleed type situation. So, look, 2 hours is not bad. And then here is here is dinner, and then this is ofuro, which is taking a bath, and these two characters literally mean to rest. So that's another good 2 hours of just downtime for Yui. And then, of course, this is more Yui forcing herself to do something she doesn't want to do, which is to study. So, just from this one chart, it was interesting to see that Azusa is, yeah, a tough master, but a very fair one. And yeah, technically, there is no snack time included, but still. The other thing or person that I want to highlight from episode 9 is Obaachan. Azusa made this comment that Yui sounds like a stray cat that Obaachan feeds, and that's probably not far from the truth. Mugi also referenced a couple of Japanese fairy tales that Yui and Obaachan remind her of, which I have to thank Cookie in the comments for explaining. So I'm going to quote them a little here. So Mugi refers to Kasa Jizo, which is a tale about an old couple going through hardship and yet still doing good deeds, which costs them part of what few things they do have. The tale implies karma, and there's a deep connection to Buddhism. It is a decent parallel to the grandma taking care of Yui without expecting anything in return. And I did look up the fairy tale or the folk tale, and apparently it's still used as a way to teach kids to be generous and selfless. And I just love that they tucked that in there. Obviously, for someone like me who is a cultural outsider, a little bit more digging is required to get to the meaning of those references, but that lesson is just kind of put there for you to learn from or not. Having said that, being kind and generous are universal things that we can all try to be, and I just love that K-On! Is the kind of show that celebrates that. A couple of you noticed that as soon as they introduced Obaachan and showed how kind she was, that I immediately had this instinctive expectation that she would be offed or die in some horrible way. And I was reflecting on that, and I think it's just a natural consequence of having watched so many other shows where as soon as something or someone good is introduced, they are inevitably the first ones to be picked off. And also, I'm still so green to slice of life type shows that reflect, in a way, real life, but that part of real life where people are just kind for the sake of being kind. But yeah, in K-On!, as Joshua O'Rourke so rightfully pointed out, only Mio gets to die, and that's on the inside. Last thing for episode 9, we got more of Mugi Meets The Plebs, in that Yui has to explain what a 30% sale off is to her, and she replies with, "How dynamic." Of course, I think we definitely got more of that in episode 10 too, and really I just love every time that they drip feed us more of Mugi's fantasies becoming real. Even the way that Mugi saw Yui as a character in those folktales and was so excited to help Yui repay the kindness of Obaachan, one, because she is a good friend, but also it was just another way to make those fantastical stories that she loves turn real. Speaking of real life, I think episode 10 through Sawako's arc dealt kind of realistically with the experience that many people have, which is that often what you dream of doing when you're young doesn't pan out that way. So it was another stalking episode, though this time where the stalker is the HTT club and the stalkie is Sawako, who meets up with Norimi or Christina about reviving Death Devil at a former bandmate's wedding. And we'll get to the significance of that later, but I really liked Norimi. There was that profound moment she had with Yui where Norimi does this like really cool lick on guitar, and you can tell that she's reminiscing about the good old band days. And then when she hands back guitar to Yui, there's this like look on Yui's face, and I was like, what is going on in that genius head of hers? So Youngblood had a really useful take on that, which I will read from. I think Yui really was very impressed by Nori-chan. She has a strong presence, but was laid back, making jokes, playing casually, just chilling out, pay for their food, etc. When Nori hands guitar back to Yui, she suddenly feels like a child and realizes the gap between them. Later, she says, adults are pretty amazing, huh, to Ui, and I think she's still thinking about Nori-chan a little, and she looks up to her. I agree. I think there was definitely that element of, wow, I still have so much further to go in terms of growing up. And you can see that too in just the smallest of ways, like when Ui offered Yui a juice, and Yui thinks for a while and then says, no, I'll take a tea instead. There's also that super interesting, I don't know if it was a rhetorical question, but Yui asks, when I'm grown up, will I be grown up too? So let's try to unwrap that a little bit. I think there are several possible interpretations of that line given the context of what's happening in the show. First and most obviously is the ongoing dilemma of having to choose a path post high school. And we know that Yui is really struggling with that. Like, she knows that she loves music, but she doesn't know if that's something that she can do as a career or as a grown up. Case in point being Sawako and Norimi too, I guess. Secondly, there's inherent in the way that that question was phrased. So, when I grow up, will I be grown up too? And I would like kill to understand the original Japanese, but as I am stuck with the English translation, let's just go with that. So, the phrasing gives off this feeling that age is not the same as maturity. So, on the one hand, think of the people you know who are old in years but still remain quite immature in how they act and think and treat other people. And on the other hand, just because you're older in years doesn't mean that you have to act a certain way and always meet others or society's expectations of what someone your age should be like. I think it's finding that balance, right, between learning to take responsibility for yourself and, just not being an asshole to others, but also not smothering who you are and what you're passionate about just because that's what everyone else says you should do as a grown up. As someone who definitely did not take the conventional study, then get a stable 9 to 5 job and work until you can buy a house and retire comfortably path, I always encourage people to at least try pursuing their passions and try honing the skills that you're good at and enjoy, and just give yourself the space to fail and to succeed, because you never know when an opportunity comes up that allows you to both be able to survive in terms of the real world, like bills and all of that fun stuff, and also do what you love. So that's why I think Yui is actually a really great role model, in that once she found a passion, she goes 110% at it, which is why I think she would have a great chance of succeeding in music. I just I just know too many people who were too scared to give themselves a chance when they were younger, and they took the path of studying or pursuing something that they thought would give them a safe, stable job, and they're now stuck in jobs that they hate. I am aware though that life can be very complicated and that sometimes things just happen that force you off the path of your own choosing, which is why my favorite part of episode 10 was actually not the Death Devil performance, which was amazing, but it was actually seeing Sawako sensei's high school flashbacks. And they showed that she was in the exact same position as Yui, and she represents anyone who has ever had to take like a detour for whatever reason off their preferred life path. And there's a beauty in Sawako's arc in that even though she had to give up her younger self's dream of becoming this hardcore rock star, she was still able to rediscover her passion after all these years and be accepted for it by people who weren't aware of that past and only knew her as this serene, well-spoken teacher. And what I take from that is that even if things don't work out immediately for you, and there's always like twists and turns in life that throw you off or you make mistakes, there is always a way back to the things that you love. All right, guys, it is that moment where we dive into episode 11, hot. There's a lot of things that are hot in K-On, but I guess we'll see if you guys are good to go. Let's do this in 3, 2, 1, play. It's always full time, man. Not that I mind it. Oh, so it's the hot weather. Is this gonna be another weather focused episode? Kind of like the opposite of rain. How hot does it get in Japan? I don't know. I mean, for an Aussie, kind of like 30, 40 degrees is pretty normal. Celsius. I always love that motion of Ritsu's drumming. You just see the energy in the animation. And that hut is probably one of my favorite moments in this opening. I love that Ritsu moment. Like they each have their little spotlights, but in Mio's moment, there's like a Mitsu, sharing of the headphones. There's quite a few Mitsu moments in this opening, which I appreciate. And the one with Mugi and Azusa. I kind of wonder if we'll get an episode that focuses on the relationship between Mugi and Azusa. I feel like that would be really interesting. Mia hair flick. Ugh, instantly feel better. Of course, it's Mugi taking care of Yui. No, in English. Uh, oh, I want to hear this song in full. I love that. Yuiazu continued. They just couldn't help. Oh my god. Theory confirmed that Mio is actually, well, Azusa is a duplicate of Mio. They look exactly the same with that hairstyle. Just different eye color. Mugi knows what's up. But yes, I didn't get a chance to say that before the Yuiyazu moment that we got. I just couldn't help just but smush their faces together, even though it was super hot. They just can't help themselves. Oh. What is that? Is that like a camisole underwear? Like a swimsuit? I thought this was going in a very different direction. Okay. I love this pair. Yeah, she is. There's two little hot dogs. Just two little crazy hot dogs. Mugi and Yui, again, another very interesting combination. Oh no. Oh man, I love this constant mixing of pairs. It's just obviously they want to lose weight because they're the only two in the club who care so much about this stuff. Oh my goodness. They gave it a shot. Clucking of a tongue. Oh, that was a strong slap. Oh my god, Mugi, just enjoying yourself so much. Wow. If the whole episode is like this, I don't mind. There's no plot, it's just them being themselves. Mind over matter. Well, Yui does have a very strong power of the mind. There we go. It's so bizarre. Damn, look at that walrus. This music. Oh, nice. The keyboard. Oh. I love the use of just the melting of the music. Wow, okay, so now we're getting the Yui and Ritsu pair. Old school. Yeah. So are they actually gonna practice this episode? I mean, drama, man. It's the pain of the drama. Look at their faces. Wow, Ritsu. For a second, oh my god. Elsa looks so mad. Ice from Finland! All the way from Finland. Probably. Obaachan Ritsu. Oh my god, they just become degenerates in the heat. Mm. Oh, thank God Azusa's there. Yeah. I've never seen a turtle molt before. It's fascinating. Ooh, isn't that such a perfect parallel between how they're all growing up and how they're gonna step into the wider, bigger world soon? Oh yes, we get some Sawako this episode. I wonder why. She's too busy with her new celebrity status. These two. Enter Mugi. Yeah. Ooh. Every time, every time. Oh, I love how they do the heat in that animation, like the wavering kind of lines. Sawako is just like, whatever did I do in my past life to get these girls on my back? Oh my god, these kids. So much discussion. Oh, Mugi and Sawa. Probably one of those fantasies that Mugi never imagined she would be able to experience. What? Like she's never sat in the front seat of a car because she's always got like a driver, and you always sit at the back. I love that detail. Mugi's house. Aircon. Oh my god. I love that Ritsu was like, Mugi! And then Mugi was like, loyal second and general. It's a rose to the challenge. Not a car. Do they not know who Noraka is at this point? I love Mugi's. I don't know. It's like she has her hand in everything, and she's so. What is that accent? I love that they don't even like hello and then go into an actual normal conversation. Yeah. Yeah. Right. It's they didn't start with that. They just started with the acting. Oh, Ritsu. Of course, Ritsu didn't go or didn't hand the form in. She's dead. Wow, how many times has Mia hit Ritsu in this episode? Tadaima. Big brain, big brain. I want to go to prep Ritsu. What, Mia's pretending to be Noraka? Ooh, well, there's trees coming out. Come on, Ritsu. Where's your like Yakuza head strength? And you're a drummer. It's so funny coming from Azusa because in the beginning she was the one who was like, "Oh my goodness, these people don't practice at all." I was gonna say, okay, maybe not these two reasons. Would be a lot cooler. Nice play on words. Wow, those two, like when you put them in under the pressure, they kind of just step up and just blow you away. That was nice. Oh, here we go. Yep. Oh. Oh, they didn't prepare for that. Oh, but they have not a car. Oh no, all that work for nothing. She's like, fight me, fight me. No, they're just gonna sit there. I love that she said Matakun with that sort of little smile on her face. Yui, oh my gosh, Yui, there's gotta be such a specific set of conditions under which she will, release her genius talent, but a very specific set. Oh my god. Okay. There was another episode where nothing happens, but a lot happens in terms of just showcasing all of these different character spotlights and how they react to the most mundane of everyday situations like hot weather and then getting an air conditioner in the club room. Yeah, again, just enjoyable just watching these girls do their thing. And before, what I was saying about Mugi, she was just, I don't know, she's very prominent in that episode, which I really like because haven't had too many very Mugi centric episodes. Less than the other girls, I feel. Also, she's very cute in that little sailor's cap. Okay, next episode. Okay, guys, straight on to episode 12, Summerfest. Kind of hope that means that we get some kind of song. All right, if you guys are ready for this, let's do it in 3, 2, 1, play. What was that look? Again, the 3 versus 1. Oh, 4v1. Wow, I was not expecting that. I don't know. I suspect Yui blackmailed her with something or bribed her with something else. Like, I will practice if you go. I don't know. Azusa can surprise you sometimes. Yaba. Oh, clarification on actually how heavy Mugi's keyboard is. It is over 30 kilos. It's not 16 kilos, it's over 30, which makes it a tank. which makes Mugi a super tank. Mugi, I love Mugi so much. I do think even at this stage she is sort of my favorite. It's very hard to have a favorite, obviously, in this show, but I think she pips the others just a little bit. Oh, that animation down and up the base neckline. So good. So smooth. Hmm? It's very sweet that Azusa always worries about them, like their exams and stuff, their entrance exams. Mugi and Yui, like, I don't know, when their brains mesh, they just go to these crazy places. Oh, like a music festival. Interesting. Oh, and then this is like where they get really inspired to become even better as a band. This mountain. What is this? Oh my god, Yui. How did she even get there? This is like last time when she crashed their Christmas party. Again, I love that show continuity. Does she have connections? Is that why she's got tickets? Oh, so to answer Yui's question, yes, they will be eaten alive. Are they going with Sawako then? Sawako can show them the ropes. Is that Yui? I love that no one notices Yui and the weird sunnies. That was Yui, right? Ouch. But true. Oh. It's very typical entrance. Adulting is hard. I love how comfortable they are just like ragging on Sawako. Can you use your twos? Oh, this is so funny. Oh my goodness, this is such a rare opportunity to see Mio sort of like tap into her crazy side, and then Mugi's like, oh, okay, me too, me too. And Ritsu finds it super cute, if slightly, ugh. Oh, I also love because remember that flashback with Mio and Ritsu, how they started wanting to play their instruments. It was like watching a live band but on the TV, and so this is sort of that was cute. Sharing an ice cream. Yeah, so this is sort of an opportunity for that to be real for them. Indeed, it isn't. Wow, the sanity level of this group is dropping precipitously. And surprisingly, it's Ritsu and Azusa holding down the fort on the sanity scale. Oh yeah, which fits with the sanity scale actually. 300 million people. It's a rock festival team. I love this rock music they put on whenever Sawako gets into one of these moods. Oh. uh, thinking of the important stuff, Yui is. Oh, maybe this has to be Mugi's first camping trip too. Oh, Mugi. Why is Ritsu on top of Azusa's head? Wow. She lives rock. It's all things rock. It just gets her blood buzzing. Zero litter policy. Nice. Maybe only in Japan. The festivals that I've been to definitely did not have that policy. Damn, this hype music. Oh, wow. Oh, I'm so excited already. Still thinking about how she can split her body in two. I love that Ritsu's just keeping her sane. Unique bands. The yakisoba, the yakisoba. Oh, her former bandmates? Oh my god, Ritsu. Oh no. Oh, this is it. This is where they get bitten by the bug. Ah, yes. Ooh, very funky rock. Look at them go. Oh, Ritsu's face. Oh, they're so cute. Yeah, you gotta go. Like, you gotta really, if you want to experience everything, it's so tiring, these festivals, but so great. Where's Ritsu gonna go? Yep, of course she'll go with Mia. Just gotta make sure Mia doesn't do something crazy. Oh, Southpaw. I love that those two are sharing this moment together just to relive like their childhood moment when they did get into music. Oh, and then Yui Azu star. Oh, I'm gonna die. All my ships. Oh, of course, that's what she's thinking. And just killed Azusa inside. Oh, poor Azusa. Oh no, Mugi's dream. Yeah, adapt. It's intense. Oh my goodness. Good on Sawako. Just getting in touch with her rock side. Oh man, I love these shots. I'm exhausted. Did a really good job of getting the intensity of music festival across. She means second lunch. Oh. No lunch. Sawako's got them covered. The adult still adulting. Oh, that's right. Oh. Oh, I love that they have some quiet folksy stuff going on. Here we go. The deep thinking. Such a great view. Oh, wow. That is the great thing about music fests. They're usually far enough away from the city that you can actually see stars. That's the dream. Oh, this is making me a bit sad. Just keep thinking about the day when they have to split up. Silence. She's got a point. It's about their connection. Yeah. Aura. She does, just she knows it in her heart. Maybe not the dictionary meaning. See, I love that it's Yui who starts the spark and then it's just very contagious and the others get into it as well. even Ritsu. uh, be quiet. I'm having a moment. Oh man, that line, I hope we can get to play in a band forever. It's like, okay, maybe it's my cynical side coming out again. I don't know, you just know that's not going to happen, right? Because real life gets in the way and they eventually all have to graduate. They'll leave Azusa behind first off, and then they'll all go to different universities and colleges. Oh, now I'm really sad. Maybe I think one day, kind of like Death Devil, like so they each go their separate paths, but then one day they'll have a reunion. Wouldn't it be nuts? Because I'm certain that there is no K-On! Sequel other than there's a movie, but then after that, that was it for K-On! And there's probably, after so many years, I'm positive so many people wanted them to do some kind of reunion or some kind of third season or something. Which could still happen. I don't know. Probably not, but okay. All right, another two solid episodes of K-On! Behind us, and just a couple of quick thoughts to finish before I have to jet off. I liked these two episodes for very different reasons. Episode 11 was less conveying an overall plot point and more just about having fun with how each of the girls reacted to and responded to the very hot weather. I'll have to watch it again, but it left me with this really strong impression of just a rapid cycling through of different pairings of the girls. So we had Yui with Ritsu and their Dumb and Dumber theatrics and scuffling over the ice water. There was Yui and Mugi with their swimsuits and their desk hot dog thing. There's Yuiazu and that like really cute cheek purse. Ritsu and Mugi combining forces to scare Mio with that horror story. It was just, there was a lot and I couldn't keep up, but I did love every single second of it. Episode 12, on the other hand, with that through line of going to the rock concert with Sawako sensei, I knew it was leading to that final reflective moment where they again reaffirm that yes, they may not be the best band technically, but they do have a certain magic about them when all five of them are together. And that shows in their unique brand of music. And it's true that there's a certain like je ne sais quoi with HTT, largely because of the love they have for each other. So it all comes down to love, which normally to reach that kind of warm and fuzzy conclusion is, I feel, actually very difficult for any show to pull off convincingly, because there's always that danger of it being so cliche and it's too simple and too simplistic or too idealistic. But with K-On!, it just feels right and so organic. And that's due to the substantial groundwork that's been laid before about the characters and their relationships with each other and their relationships between different pairings of the girls. And so that's why at the end of the last episode, I really felt the emotion when they were expressing that desire to want to play together forever. And I already know I'm gonna fall apart at the end. Like the end, you know, when the show ends and they all have to graduate. So yeah, I don't know. Look forward to that. I will try to, I don't know. No, I am gonna fall apart. That's just a foregone conclusion. So that is it for this time. Just a quick note, I have updated the list of animes that I am planning to watch down track on AnyList, and you can find that link on my channel homepage. You will note that there are actually quite a few Kyoani shows on there, and really having fallen in love with K-On, it was just natural that I had to check out the rest of the series that this studio has put out. So thank you guys again for sticking with me, and I look forward to more chillin' with K-On next time.